Welcome. Settle into a comfortable position, whether you're lying down or sitting up. If it feels right, gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in. Feel your chest rise as your lungs fill. Then softly exhale, letting go of any tension you've been holding. Before we continue, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know where you're from and what time you're watching it. Always great to connect with you. Now, take another deep breath in and exhale slowly, releasing any lingering stress. Feel your shoulders relax, your jaw loosen, and the tension in your forehead fade away. With each breath, notice your body growing heavier, sinking deeper into relaxation. Let your mind drift freely, like a leaf floating on a calm, steady stream, carried effortlessly. Simply listen to the sound of my voice and allow yourself to be gently guided. It was supposed to be a new beginning, a chance to leave the chaos of my old life behind and start over. That's what I kept telling myself as I signed the papers for the old farmhouse on the edge of town. The place had been abandoned for decades, its paint peeling, its windows shattered, and its roof sagging under the weight of neglect. But it was cheap, suspiciously cheap. The kind of price that makes you wonder what you're really paying for. The real estate agent had been quick to hand over the keys, her smile a little too bright, her words a little too rehearsed. "It's got potential," she said, as if that could explain the unease that settled in my gut the moment I stepped inside. I ignored it though. After all, it was just a house. What could go wrong? The real estate agent had been oddly eager to sell it, her smile a little too wide, her words a little too rushed. "It's a fixer-upper," she said, "but it's got character." Character, that's one way to put it. The first night was quiet, almost peaceful. The kind of quiet that makes you feel like you're the only person left in the world. But as I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, I heard it, a faint whisper, so soft I almost thought I imagined it. It sounded like a child's voice, barely audible, coming from somewhere deep within the walls. I told myself it was just the wind, just the house settling. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The whispers grew louder as the nights went on. They were always the same soft, pleading, almost desperate. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable. It was a child's voice, calling out from somewhere I couldn't see. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself it was just my imagination. But then I saw here a little girl, no more than 6 or 7, standing at the end of the hallway. She was dressed in an old-fashioned nightgown, her hair tangled and matted, her eyes wide and filled with tears. "Help me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Please, help me." I reached out to her, but she vanished before I could take a step. The whispers continued, growing louder, more insistent. They seemed to come from the walls themselves, as if the house were alive, trying to tell me something. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who she was, or why she was here, but I knew one thing I had to find out. I searched the house from top to bottom, desperate to find the source of the whispers. I checked every room, every closet, every corner, but there was no sign of the girl, no sign of anyone. And then I found it, a small, hidden door behind a bookshelf in the living room. It was barely noticeable, its edges blending seamlessly with the wall. But when I pushed the shelf aside, the door creaked open, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into the darkness. The air was cold and damp, the walls lined with cobwebs. I grabbed a flashlight and descended the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. At the bottom was a small, dimly lit room. It was filled with old furniture, dusty toys, and a single tattered diary lying on a wooden table. The whispers grew louder as I approached the diary, their voices overlapping, pleading, begging. I opened the diary, and the first page sent a chill down my spine. "My name is Emily," it read. "I'm trapped here. Please, help me." The diary was filled with entries, each one more heartbreaking than the last. Emily had been a little girl who lived in the farmhouse over a century ago. She had been sick, her body weak, her spirit broken. But it wasn't just her illness that had trapped her. It was her father. According to the diary, Emily's father had been a cruel man, obsessed with keeping his family isolated from the outside world. When Emily fell ill, he locked her in the hidden room, convinced that her sickness was a punishment from God. "He says I'm cursed," Emily wrote. "He says I have to stay here until I'm better, but I don't think I'll ever get better." The entries grew more desperate as the days went on. Emily wrote about the cold, the hunger, the loneliness. She wrote about the whispers she heard in the walls, the voices that promised to set her free. And then, on the last page, a single sentence, "I think he's going to kill me." I didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was there. Emily had been murdered, her body hidden somewhere in the house. Her father had covered it up, burying her secrets along with her. But Emily's spirit had never moved on. She was trapped, bound to the house by the pain and suffering she had endured. The whispers grew louder, more urgent. They seemed to come from all around me, their voices overlapping, pleading, begging. "Help me," they whispered. "Please help me." I didn't know how, but I knew I had to try. I searched the house for clues, desperate to find Emily's remains and set her spirit free. And then I found it, a small, unmarked grave in the backyard, hidden beneath a patch of overgrown grass. I dug through the dirt, my hands trembling, until I found Hera's small, fragile skeleton, curled up in the fetal position. "I'm sorry, Emily," I whispered. "I'm so sorry." The whispers stopped, and for a moment, there was silence. And then I felt a cold hand on my shoulder, a soft voice in my ear. "Thank you," Emily whispered. "Thank you for setting me free." I buried Emily properly, giving her the peace she had been denied for so long. The whispers stopped, and the house fell silent. But I couldn't stay there. The memories were too heavy, the shadows too deep. I sold the farmhouse and moved away, hoping to leave the past behind. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear her voice soft, pleading, almost desperate. "Help me," she whispers. "Please help me." And I wonder if I really did set her free, or if she's still out there, trapped in the walls, waiting for someone to hear her cries.